Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. You are knowing what you are wanting? A changing thing? Yes. An evolving thing? An expanding thing? That's a good thing? You are enjoying having desires that aren't fulfilled? Oh, they're our favorite. Those are our favorite. Well, what is a manifestation anyway? Something that you want. Is it necessary that others see it for it to be? You have to think about that, don't you? Did you ever want something and discover it privately and just keep it to yourself? Did you ever have a secret about something special? Or is it important that everybody else be in on it with you? Kind of makes you wonder what your desires are about. Are you showing off with them? Are you entertaining others with them? Or is a manifested desire a completion of something that you've set into motion? Why is a desire satisfying? Is it because others can see it and then understand your value as they see your manifestations? If you have more toys, are you a better person? We're just wanting to stimulate a little thought about why you may want what you want. Because we know how you felt about it when you decided to come forth. We know that you saw the manifestation as evidence and culmination of aligned energy. That it was to be evidence of your creative experience. But you didn't plan on using manifested desires to make statements of who you are, because you already knew that. So it wasn't to gather a pile of manifested assets in order to look good to others who had various size piles of assets. Everything that you wanted from your non-physical perspective was about focus. It was about the thrill of focus. It was about the satisfying feeling in alignment of thought. It was about connecting to the energy stream that creates worlds and focusing that same stream in the direction of your choices, understanding that a focus is all that was required. That all you had to do is decide and hold a steady focus, and steady is the operative word in this sentence, a steady focus that would then naturally, inevitably gather around itself, because law of attraction is a very powerful thing. Activate a thought, don't dilute it with contradictory thought, hold it steady, and it must become more. And eventually, in the becoming, it will manifest so that others will see it. But if early on in that process you are measuring what's manifested and others' point of view of it, and if it hasn't manifested to the degree that they can see it, or if you manifest something that others don't approve of and you care, then without meaning to, you water down, you dilute that energy stream. And so the manifestation is slower to come. And most important, your experience in the process isn't satisfying. And then you begin to wonder, what's it all about? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Are my goals and dreams and hopes valid? Or do I need to measure them against all others to see how they stack up? And if I find myself on the approved list of desires, then how do I ensure that I will receive them? And who do I ask about how well I'm doing? And who gets to decide who gets the juice today? Is it available to all of us? Or is there a quantifiable pile of energy stream juice? And if somebody else is needing it more than me, should I hold back and deprive myself? Well, we've sort of stated here the questions that we hear from so many humans who are, for one reason or another, not allowing themselves the steady stream of manifestational evidence of their focused energy. Do you know that you are a vibrational being primarily? Kind of hard to note that when you are able to translate your beingness, your vibrational beingness, into so much stuffness. You see and hear and smell and taste and touch so well that it's easy for humans to forget that they are vibrational, because they want to categorize the physical world that they can see and hear and smell and taste and touch as reality, as material reality, as the real life, where non-physical things not yet manifested, or things that are thought in nature primarily, they want to call those non-physical or non-real or non-evidence. Consider this. So you get it, that the reason that we would encourage you to meditate is because you might have some busyness going on in your vibration that isn't serving you, that if you were to meditate, it would soften it and you'd be in a better place. And you also get it that if you're being really specific about something that you don't believe, that you're sort of shooting yourself in the foot. So being more general is a good tool. So you're also getting it that if you are chilled, if you are in alignment, meditation isn't a good idea, because you're already there. Here's the gauge that we would apply and the question that we would ask of ourselves. If I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then thinking about what I want is the best thing to do. If I'm out of whack, meditation is a better plan. Mm-hmm. If I'm holding my cork under the water, letting it go is the best idea. If it's bobbing on the surface, thinking about how fun it is a better idea. We're not encouraging you to meditate just for the sake of meditating. It's a tool to release resistance. And sometimes you don't have any resistance to release, so it is a chore that is unnecessary. And the reason you called it a chore is because parents are all the time giving you meaningless things to do that you're not inspired to, that you don't want to do, that you don't have any momentum going for, so it feels like a chore. And why does it? Because you didn't want to do it, because there's no momentum going. We think it's wise. We don't want you to make chores out of our processes. We want you to use them as tools to improve your vibrational state of being. We would rather see you having a wonderful walk outside than meditating, because both are conducive to alignment. We would rather see you happy about something or appreciating something than meditating, because whether you're meditating or appreciating, there's still no resistance. So just move around in the knowledge that you've found and see what fits this moment and what fits this moment. Sometimes in a conversation, listening's the best thing. Sometimes in a conversation, saying something is better. In other words, there's no right or wrong. Just do your best to apply as much that you know as best you can. And most of all, don't beat up on yourself, because there's a sort of recurring theme in this conversation that goes something like, I should be doing better than I am. And that is what's slowing things down more than anything and making meditation feel like a chore. Also, we don't want you to meditate to fix something that's broken. We want you to meditate because it feels good to release resistance. We don't want you to meditate all the time, and we don't want you to work hard. We want you to take inspired action. We want the meditation to lead you to inspired action if it does. But if it isn't working, then take another tact and another tact. There are many ways. Listen to music, take a run, pet your cat, walk with your dog, call a friend. In other words, do anything and everything you can think of that will bring you into a place of feeling good until you discover which things work best for you. And then understand that the thing that is working best today may not be the thing that is working best tomorrow, but before you know it, you'll have this whole pile of things in your pocket, a bag of tricks, so to speak. That was one of the things about the 22 processes that we put in the back of the Ask and It Is Given book. They were written in an understanding that you are at different vibrational frequencies. You are at different relationships to the source within you. And sometimes one process works better than another. So you just have to figure out what works best for you right here and now. But we want this conversation to do its job, if words could teach, in the convincing you that there's not one process that's going to work for you every time, but that the desire that is at the heart of this is what really matters. I want to feel as good as I can feel now. Right now. I'm going to do the best I can to feel good now. And so if you don't feel like meditating, that's fine. But when you beat up on yourself for not meditating, that's not fine. So it's like, pick something. Meditate or don't. Take a walk or don't. Go with that person or don't. Go with that person or that person. Do this thing or do this thing. But whatever it is you are inclined toward, line up with it completely. Don't not meditate and then beat up on yourself. If you're going to meditate, give it your all. If you're going to go with that person, give it your all. Give whatever you're doing your undivided attention. Give it a chance to come into sync with the power that creates worlds. And if it doesn't, then make another choice. Until before you know it, you're going to feel really flexible and really free in the choices that you're making. Humans, you keep thinking that you've got all these things that you have to do, which deprive you of having the time to do the things that you really want to do. And that really is a flawed premise. That isn't true at all, because you know how you got all of those things on your list that you think you need to do? By sifting through contrast and putting them in the vortex. When you are tuned into this powerful energy, you never have the feeling that you have too much to do. You are empowered by the flow of it. If you could see yourselves as conduits or vessels through which this energy is flowing, and see the energy as flowing rather than getting balled up, that's what the feeling of overwhelmment is. It's energy that you've summoned that you're not allowing to flow. Because you say things like, I have too much to do. I don't have enough resources to do it. Somebody else has done something inappropriate and has made my list too long. Somebody's not been taking care of business. In other words, there's always negative emotion attached to the thought that is the slowing of the energy. Isn't it interesting that everything that you bring up, no matter what it is, we tell you it's all about the same thing. Yeah. It's all about the same thing. It's that you ask for energy and therefore summoned it, but you're thinking a thought on a pretty regular basis that isn't letting the energy that you've summoned flow. And then you give thousands upon millions upon billions of excuses that seem to explain your unhappiness when there's really only one viable answer. I summoned energy and then I blocked it. So we think for the next 10 years, everyone who came into the seminar, who came to the chair, who said, Abraham, blah, 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 blah. If we would say, we love you very much, but you've summoned energy that you're blocking. Next. Abraham, blah, 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 blah. And we would say, you've summoned energy that you're blocking. Abraham, blah, blah, we only have 15 more minutes. Blah, 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 blah. You've summoned energy that you're blocking. And after a while, someone would say, how do I know that I've summoned energy that I'm blocking? And we would say, blah, blah, blah. No, we would say, because you feel negative emotion. Because if you hadn't summoned energy that you're blocking, you wouldn't feel any negative emotion. Well, how would I know that I've summoned energy that I'm not blocking? Well, you'd feel positive emotion. Is there anything else that you want to tell me, Abraham? No. That's it. That's the whole thing. Life causes you to summon, and if you don't block it, you'll have fun. Seems like there should be more. We know it seems like it, but there isn't. You can apply it endlessly. You can apply it to relationships.